Welcome to Four Green Dogs presents THC considerations for dogs and other pets. Holiday infused edibles are especially popular, especially this time of year, but they can be dangerous for your pets. It's your responsibility to take extra care to ensure a pet absolutely cannot get into your goodies.
As far as edibles go, a lot of people have THC as part of the ingredient. And for obvious reasons, dogs tend to be a lot more sensitive to THC. And the edibles are much more tasty treats to get into than just your stash of flour or maybe some capsules and stuff. So it makes it a little bit more of a risk. If you have them lying around, you should definitely take extra precaution. Also, with edibles, we find with some of the reports of ODs with THC, pet owners will have other ingredients that are no-nos for pets overall. You would not find in their food, and they're like on a restricted list because they can make dogs very ill, and sometimes it's potentially fatal. So, for example, like we obviously know chocolate, raisins are two big ingredients people seem to know about, but also xylitol as is it an artificial sweetener?
It's an artificial sweetener and it's found in a lot of sugar free products. So be careful of
Okay.
anything that says sugar free. Keep that out of dog.
Yes, and also peanut butter. I've seen a lot of stuff cropping up with that too. That is an added ingredients in peanut butter, and people use that a lot for Kongs or other pet enrichment toys.
Okay, well, this is Joe Fox. I'm with Evergreen Coaching, and I'm happily collaborating with Four Green Dogs on this very important topic. One additional consideration I'd like to just point out that while it was good for cannabis advancement globally, that the 2020 U.S. elections were very favorable in all 5 or more states. The flip side of that means that in the coming year, millions, literally millions more adults are going to have access to this medicine. And whether they're going to be buying edibles or making edibles, potential for edibles to creep into the path of a fur baby obviously is proportional to the number of households in which such things can be found. So I just point that out that while it's not a problem yet today, it's just a cautionary sort of public service announcement that we're trying to do here. Keep in mind that this is going to apply to more and more people in the future. So a best practice that we ourselves use and can highly recommend is that when you have medicated edibles, whether you've made them yourself or whether you bought them in a dispensary, use dedicated containers that are sort of pet proof. A baggie is not going to cut it. A paper sack is not going to cut it. You know how ingenious fur babies can be in getting into something. So I recommend, at a minimum, something with the integrity of like a good airtight Tupperware container with a lid. I personally buy ones with pink lids so that they tell me at a glance there's something electric inside. And a similar best practice would be whatever you're putting in the container, if it's commercial, it'll already be labeled. If it's something you made yourself, electric brownies, electric granola bars, electric peanut butter squares, what have you, label the container with what is in there and what the dosage per serving is. Because trust me, you'll come across that, weeks from now and go, what the hell is this? I know it'll get me high, but I don't know how high. So it's easy to lose track of it, especially if you get into making your own infused edibles. So best practice, label it both for what it is and how much is in there.
And I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Amy Lloyd, and I'm also a co-author of Four Green Dogs Academy, and I'm also the owner of Beyond the Farm. And I would like to also add to Joe's the increased recognizing of like the benefits of using cannabis and helping with certain situations, whether it be people or pets. CBD right now is all the rage, but we also recognize that there are therapeutic roles for THC and used in very, very low doses. As far as CBD goes, it's great for inflammation from what we've done for research and seen in our experiences. But we've also seen that using some THC is good in that role for pain.
And to introduce myself, I'm Nancy Jacobson from Consulting Canines, and would just like to add to what Amy had said that although you know one cannot make medical claims about CBD or THC at this time. So most of what we are reporting on would be anecdotal um, evidence. It should be noted that one well-respected vet has been working with a company to develop a THC containing tincture for cancer patients using a 20-to-1 ratio where it's 20 parts THC to 1 part CBD. And some pet parents may have to make their own more suitable products if there aren't any of these commercially available products available in your area, which in the case of the 20-to-1 product, that one is available, I think, only in the state of California at this time.
So some potential products, as Nancy alludes to, it depends. What's going to be best really depends on your own situation, where you live, what the laws are where you live, what's available to you. You could certainly pursue if you have access to dispensary, whether they're recreational or medical products. There are tinctures of all kinds that are available. Most of them are often dosed for humans, and you might have to get into your own little alchemy and dilute them. They're often either in coconut oil or extra virgin olive oil is a common one. So if the dosage per drop, if you do the math, if that's too much for a canine or another fur baby, you may have to take it to the strength that it needs to be. And so that's why in my case, while I will sometimes use dispensary, and there are in dispensaries you can find pet specific products also, but you don't always know much about the company. Where do they source their material? How are they doing the extraction? Is this a healthy product that I'm willing to give to my precious baby? And so in my case, I tend to err on the side of safety and make products myself and do my own cannabis infusions and tinctures. Um, and in doing it that way, you can fine tune the ingredients for the effects that you want. You can get specific cultivars that are known to have specific terpenes that are beneficial in specific ways. You can mix the ratios to whatever you want. You can introduce CBD, whether it's whole plant through hemp or through an isolate, for example. So you have multiple options if you make your own products.
And through some of the literature that we used for research for the course that we developed, we've seen in the literature that they found that THC and CBD work together synergistically, and that they work better together instead of just by itself. Also, with that being said, we always go by the rule: start low and go slow. There's no race to this. It's not a good feeling if you happen to give, yourself or a pet a little too much of something that makes them feel cruddy. And definitely document. Look at how everything's, moving forward if you decide to do that.
And also too, there's actually a phenomenon with cannabis where you can actually have a better effect where less is actually more effective than more. And so it's really a matter of finding that sweet spot. And that goes for CBD as well as THC. And just keeping that in mind. And the synergistic effect that Amy was talking about is also sometimes known as the entourage effect. And that would also be one of the reasons why you will see some providers mention full spectrum or broad-based spectrum or full flower, meaning that it has it's not an isolate. It's not just CBD. It's not just THC. It has terpenes, flavonoids, and some of the other cannabinoid materials. So as we're starting to wrap up, we would just like to let you know that peer-reviewed CBD and THC dosing information and references can be found on our website at fourgreendogs.com. And also we have a course on a free course on CBD dosing, and or rather how to select a CBD product. And that can be found at fourgreendogsacademy.teachable.com. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them for us in the comments. And we look forward to hearing from you. And thanks a lot.